Have you ever wondered why some foods that seem perfectly healthy on their own can actually cause problems when paired together? If you've ever felt confused about what to eat or avoid as you age, you're not alone. Many seniors struggle with understanding how certain food combinations might affect their health. And today, we're going to clear up one of the most surprising and important topics out there. Let's talk about garlic, a staple in kitchens around the world. It's known for its incredible health benefits, from boosting immunity to supporting heart health. But here's something you may not know. Eating garlic with certain foods can actually be dangerous, especially as we grow older. This isn't just speculation. Research shows that specific pairings can lead to digestive issues, nutrient absorption problems, or even more serious complications over time. In fact, studies suggest that our bodies process food differently as we age. Our stomach acid levels decrease, making digestion less efficient, and medications we take can interact with certain foods in unexpected ways. That's why it's so important to pay attention to what we're eating, not just individually, but also in combination. In today's video, we're going to uncover 3 foods you should never eat with garlic if you want to protect your health and stay feeling your best. And trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end, because the last tip might surprise you and could make all the difference in how you plan your meals. Before we begin, I want to make one thing clear. This video is for informational purposes only and is based on publicly available research. Everyone's health is different, so always consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your lifestyle, diet, or exercise routine. Scientific knowledge is always evolving, and what works for one person may not work for another. Now, let's dive into the first food pairing you'll want to avoid. Have you ever heard of oxalates? These naturally occurring compounds are found in many plant-based foods, and while they're generally harmless in moderation, they can interfere with the way your body absorbs certain nutrients when combined with garlic. One common culprit is spinach. Spinach is packed with vitamins and minerals, but it also contains high levels of oxalates. When eaten with garlic, these oxalates can bind with calcium and other minerals, potentially leading to kidney stones or reduced nutrient absorption over time. I'll share a quick story with you. A woman named Margaret once told me she loved adding raw garlic to her spinach salads for flavor and health benefits. But after months of doing this regularly, she started experiencing sharp pains in her side. Her doctor explained that the combination of spinach and garlic had likely contributed to the formation of kidney stones due to the high oxalate content. Once she switched to pairing her spinach with lemon juice instead, which helps break down oxalates, she noticed a significant improvement. Sometimes, simple swaps like this can make all the difference. Now, some of you might be thinking, does this mean I have to give up garlic altogether? Absolutely not. Garlic is incredibly beneficial when used correctly. The key is knowing which foods to pair it with and which ones to avoid. For example, cooking garlic can reduce its potential interactions with oxalate-rich foods, so sautéing it lightly rather than consuming it raw might be a safer option if you're eating spinach or similar vegetables. You might also be wondering, what if I don't eat much spinach anyway? That's okay. We'll cover 2 more food combinations later in this video that are equally important to watch out for. But first, let's take a closer look at why this matters specifically for seniors. As we age, our kidneys become less efficient at filtering waste products from our blood, increasing the risk of issues like kidney stones. By avoiding risky food pairings, you're giving your body a better chance to function optimally and stay healthy. Now that we've covered the dangers of pairing garlic with spinach, let's move on to another combination that could pose risks, especially for those taking medications or managing chronic conditions. Let's talk about dairy. Now that we've talked about the dangers of pairing garlic with spinach, let's move on to another combination that could pose risks, especially for those taking medications or managing chronic conditions. Let's talk about dairy. You might be surprised to learn that eating garlic alongside certain dairy products can create problems for your digestion and overall health. Here's why this matters. Garlic contains sulfur compounds that give it its distinct flavor and aroma, but these compounds can also increase stomach acid production. When combined with dairy, which is already harder for many seniors to digest due to lactose intolerance or reduced enzyme activity, this can lead to bloating, gas, or even acid reflux. For people who are prone to heartburn or gastrointestinal issues, this combination can make symptoms worse and leave you feeling uncomfortable for hours. Let me share an example. A gentleman named Robert once told me he loved adding raw garlic to his morning omelet, which he often paired with a side of cheese or a glass of milk. He noticed that after breakfast, he'd frequently feel bloated and experience indigestion throughout the day. His doctor suggested cutting back on combining garlic and dairy, and within weeks, his discomfort improved significantly. It was such a simple change, but it made a world of difference in how he felt. Now, some of you might be wondering, what if I love the taste of garlic and don't want to give up my favorite dishes? That's completely understandable, and you don't have to. The key is timing. Instead of consuming garlic and dairy together, try spacing them out by at least a couple of hours. For instance, if you're having a cheesy baked potato for dinner, save the garlic bread for lunch or as a snack earlier in the day. Small adjustments like this can help prevent digestive distress without sacrificing flavor. But here's something else to consider. For seniors taking blood-thinning medications like warfarin, garlic itself can interact with these drugs due to its natural blood-thinning properties. Pairing it with calcium-rich foods like dairy can further complicate things, as calcium supplements are sometimes prescribed alongside blood thinners. This makes it even more important to be mindful of what you're eating and consult your doctor about potential food-drug interactions. Speaking of medications, let's transition to another risky combination involving garlic, one that could affect your liver health over time. Many seniors take over-the-counter pain relievers like acetaminophen, commonly known as Tylenol, to manage aches and pains. While these medications are generally safe when used as directed, combining them with large amounts of garlic can put extra strain on your liver. Here's the science behind it. Garlic has been shown to stimulate liver enzymes, which are responsible for breaking down toxins and medications in your body. In small doses, this isn't usually a problem, but when consumed in excess or combined with medications metabolized by the liver, it can lead to unintended consequences. Studies suggest that excessive garlic intake may increase the risk of liver stress, especially in individuals who already have compromised liver function due to age or pre-existing conditions. I'll share another story with you. A woman named Linda once told me she started experiencing fatigue and mild nausea after incorporating more garlic into her diet. At first, she thought it was unrelated, but her doctor pointed out that she was also taking daily acetaminophen for arthritis pain. Once she reduced her garlic consumption and spaced out her medication doses, her symptoms improved. It was a wake-up call for her to pay closer attention to how different foods and medications interacted in her body. Now let's address a common objection I hear from viewers. Isn't garlic supposed to be healthy? Why does it seem like it's causing so many problems? Great question. Garlic absolutely offers numerous health benefits, including anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. However, moderation and context are key. Just because something is good for you doesn't mean more is always better, or that it works well with everything else you're consuming. For seniors, this becomes even more critical. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at processing certain foods and medications, making us more vulnerable to adverse reactions. By being mindful of combinations like garlic and acetaminophen, you're taking proactive steps to protect your long-term health. Before we move on, let's recap why avoiding these pairings is so important. Eating garlic with spinach can contribute to kidney stone formation, while pairing it with dairy may cause digestive issues. And combining it with medications like acetaminophen can strain your liver over time. Each of these scenarios highlights the importance of understanding how seemingly harmless foods can impact your well-being when mixed improperly. Now that we've covered two risky combinations, let's shift our focus to one final pairing that often flies under the radar, but can have serious consequences if ignored. This next tip might surprise you, but trust me, it's worth paying attention to. Let's talk about alcohol. Now that we've covered the dangers of pairing garlic with spinach, dairy, and medications like acetaminophen, let's move on to one final combination that often flies under the radar, but can have serious consequences if ignored. Let's talk about alcohol. You might not think twice about enjoying a glass of wine or beer alongside a meal flavored with garlic, but this pairing could be more problematic than you realize, especially as we age. Here's the issue. Both garlic and alcohol are processed by your liver, and consuming them together can put extra strain on this vital organ. While moderate alcohol consumption is generally considered safe for most people, adding garlic into the mix increases the workload on your liver, which may already be less efficient due to aging. For seniors who drink regularly, even in small amounts, this combination could lead to long-term liver stress or even impair its ability to detoxify your body effectively. Let me share a quick story with you. A man named Harold once told me he loved cooking with garlic and often enjoyed a glass of red wine with dinner. He thought it was a healthy habit since both garlic and red wine are known for their antioxidant properties. But after months of doing this consistently, he started feeling unusually tired and noticed his skin had a yellowish tint. His doctor explained that his liver enzymes were elevated, likely due to the cumulative effects of garlic and alcohol. Once he cut back on combining the two, his energy levels improved and his liver function returned to normal. It was a wake-up call for him to rethink how these foods interacted in his diet. Now, some of you might be wondering, does this mean I have to give up my evening glass of wine? Not necessarily. The key is moderation and mindfulness. If you enjoy an occasional drink, try avoiding meals heavy in garlic on those days. Alternatively, space out your consumption so your liver has time to process each substance separately. These small adjustments can make a big difference without requiring drastic lifestyle changes. But here's something else to consider. Alcohol doesn't just affect your liver. It can also interfere with sleep quality, hydration, and medication effectiveness, all of which are particularly important for seniors. Pairing it with garlic only compounds these risks. For example, if you're taking sleep aids or blood pressure medications, the combination of garlic and alcohol could amplify side effects or reduce the efficacy of your treatment. Always check with your healthcare provider to ensure your dietary habits align with your overall health plan. Let's shift gears slightly and talk about overcoming challenges. I know that changing eating habits can sometimes feel overwhelming, especially if you've been preparing meals a certain way for years. But here's the truth: small, consistent actions add up over time. If avoiding risky food pairings feels difficult, start by focusing on one change at a time. Maybe it's swapping spinach for kale in your salads, or spacing out your garlic-heavy dishes from dairy-rich meals. Don't hesitate to ask for help if needed, whether it's from a family member, caregiver, or nutritionist. And remember, staying socially engaged and connected to others can play a big role in motivating you to take care of yourself. Research shows that seniors who maintain strong social ties tend to have better mental and physical health outcomes. So whether it's joining a community group, volunteering, or simply spending time with loved ones, nurturing your relationships can inspire you to prioritize your own well-being. Here's a powerful fact to leave you with. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that mindful eating practices, not just what you eat, but how and when you eat it, can significantly improve digestion, nutrient absorption, and overall health. It's proof that paying attention to food combinations isn't just about avoiding risks. It's about creating habits that support your long-term vitality. Now that you have all these tools and insights, let's wrap things up with some final words of motivation and a simple challenge you can start today. Because at the end of the day, aging doesn't mean losing control of your health. It means taking charge of it in smarter, more intentional ways. Now that we've explored the dangers of pairing garlic with spinach, dairy, medications like acetaminophen, and alcohol, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. These combinations might seem harmless at first glance, but they can have surprising, and sometimes serious, effects on your health, especially as you age. The good news is that by making small, mindful adjustments to your diet, you can protect your body and continue enjoying the foods you love without unnecessary risks. Let's recap why these pairings matter so much. Eating garlic with spinach can increase the risk of kidney stones due to high oxalate levels. Pairing it with dairy may lead to digestive discomfort like bloating or acid reflux, especially for those who are lactose intolerant or prone to gastrointestinal issues. Combining garlic with medications like acetaminophen can strain your liver over time, while mixing it with alcohol adds extra stress to this vital organ, potentially impacting its ability to function properly. Each of these scenarios highlights how seemingly healthy choices can backfire if we're not paying attention to how foods interact. But here's the thing, Knowledge is only powerful when it's put into action. You don't need to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Start small. Maybe it's swapping spinach for a lower oxalate green like kale in your salads, spacing out your garlic-heavy meals from dairy-rich ones, or simply being more mindful about when you enjoy a glass of wine. Over time, these little changes add up, creating habits that support your well-being in meaningful ways. Experts agree that consistency is key when it comes to nutrition and self-care practices. Even one thoughtful adjustment can make a noticeable difference in how you feel day to day. I want to leave you with a story that illustrates just how transformative small habits can be. A woman named Evelyn once told me she decided to pay closer attention to her food pairings after years of ignoring potential interactions. She started by focusing on one area at a time, first cutting back on garlic-heavy dishes with dairy, then adjusting her medication schedule to avoid conflicts. Within weeks, she noticed fewer digestive issues, better energy levels, and an overall sense of well-being she hadn't felt in years. She said to me, "It wasn't about perfection, it was about progress. I realized that taking care of myself didn't have to be overwhelming, it just had to be consistent." Now, some of you might still be thinking, what if I forget or fall behind? That's okay. Life happens, and no one expects you to be perfect. The goal isn't perfection, it's improvement. If you miss a day, simply pick up where you left off the next day. And don't hesitate to enlist the help of loved ones or caregivers if you need support. Remember, you're never alone in this journey. Let's talk about mindset for a moment. As we age, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, "It's too late for me to make a difference." But science shows us that it's never too late to start making healthier choices. A study published in The Lancet found that adopting even one new healthy habit later in life, like being mindful of food combinations, can significantly improve quality of life and reduce the risk of chronic diseases. So whether you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond, every positive step you take matters. Another important aspect of aging well is staying socially engaged. Did you know that loneliness can have a profound impact on both mental and physical health? Studies suggest that maintaining strong social connections reduces the risk of depression, anxiety, and even chronic diseases. While we've been talking about food today, don't forget to nourish your relationships too. Share these tips with a friend or family member, or invite someone over for a meal where you try out some of these safer food pairings together. These moments of connection are just as vital as the habits themselves. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these food pairings surprised you the most? Are there any changes you're excited to try first? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one, and your thoughts might inspire others who are looking for ideas. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips on healthy aging. Sharing this video with a loved one could also be a wonderful way to spread the message of vitality and self-care. Finally, I want to remind you of something important. Aging doesn't mean losing control of your health. It means taking charge of it in smarter, more intentional ways. Every day is a new opportunity to nourish your body, nurture your mind, and connect with the people and activities that bring you joy. Whether it's through mindful eating, staying active, or simply smiling at someone you love, you have the power to shape your own journey. So here's to living your best life at any age, and to embracing the small, meaningful steps that lead to big results. Thank you for spending this time with me. Until next time, take care, stay curious, and remember, small actions lead to lasting change. Here's to your health.